I am doing a recap on this old Heathkit IO-18. What I did first was I removed the tube and I put it in a very safe place. I don't want to have to make a mistake and replace that. Then I also removed all of the vacuum tubes out. I put them in a safe place because I don't want to break those either. And then I got a kit from eBay for this, which include mylar caps and electrolytic caps. And as you might notice, I've already done the mylar caps and a couple of the electrolytics here. Basically what I do is I do one at a time. I would, I would pull one, I would measure it, make sure it matched what I was putting in, then I put the other one in. So it's as straightforward as you think. I kind of lean it on its side when that makes sense, or I lean on its, not its front, but upside down if that makes sense. And you can see here that we've got all the caps and everything like that. The other thing that I do is as I complete a section like this section here, I happen to have the Heathkit manual. And so I compare it against that, make sure I got the right values. One third tip is that I always like to have the values showing. So I make sure that I rotate it so all the values are always showing. Just makes it easier for confirmation. The big thing is I am checking it at least 4 times. Yeah. Let's take a look underneath here. So there's a few here and there. And then these are the very high voltage caps here. They're replaced. And that's about it for just replacing the mylar caps and some of the free electrolytic caps. And so then it's on to replacing the cap cans. So we've got the 2 cap cans here. And so it's how to replace them. There's a lot of different techniques. Some people pull the thing completely and then they, glue radial caps together and stick them in. Some people actually disassemble this and remove the guts and put new caps, radial caps inside and do that, which is cool. Another one is, and I think this is what I might do, is I'll leave the 2 cans here, but on the underside, I'll clip and I'll put the caps in. Anyways, that's coming. Thank you. Okay, just replacing the can cap, the big one in the back here, on this Heathkit oscilloscope. So what I did, number one, I took a ton of pictures from every angle possible. And then I also wrote down all of the different connections that were going to it. The color of the wires, what terminal they connected to, etc., etc. So I've got some backup happening. And not only that, as I took wires off, I would label them. So these blue wires here, they go to the blue connection here. And green, yellow, etc., like that. Basically, my technique for taking these off is I yank out all the solder and then I clip the top of the terminal. These terminals, they have a hole in them. I wonder if you can see that. They have a hole in them. And so if you clip off the top of the terminal away from the wires, you don't want to clip the wires. You can typically just slide the wires off. The person who assembled this wrapped the wires around pretty good. And then the wires can just slide off and then I can uncurl them. So I retain the original length of the wires. Yeah, okay, so my next step here, I got to get that ground wire off. Once I got that off, then it's time to remove the can and see how I'm going to either rebuild it with original caps or new caps, or, do something else, maybe put in a little terminal strip with the caps on it. Not 100% sure yet. Okay, so here's what I've done. You can barely see underneath there. There is a terminal strip. Maybe this might be a bit better, I'm not sure. There's a terminal strip there. I've got all of these 4 radial cap cans. And then they're all silicone together. And then I have everybody connected up. I had to extend 2 leads, and that's what the big red stuff is. That's silicone wire sleeves, so it's a high heat wire sleeve. And basically I just wired in an extended wire, or soldered in an extended wire, and then just put the sleeve over top. So that's kind of about it. So my next tact here is that I got to triple check everything. So what I'm going to do is there's two ways I'm going to approach it. One is I'm going to rewrite the schematic the way that it looks here, and then compare it against my what I have here and up in the old Heathkit manual buried under there. That's one. Number two is that I'm going to then also separately, I'm going to take the good old yellow highlighter method. We did this a lot when we were building amps, tube amps. Is I would follow each line on here, and I would follow it on here, and mark it with a yellow highlighter just to make sure that's right. And then the third one is that I'll print off that portion of the schematic and do the yellow highlighter thing again. I just really want to make absolutely sure I didn't make a mistake, because it is super easy to make mistakes with this stuff. Okay, we're now finished with the big cap can, leaving it there for aesthetic purposes. I don't know why I did that, because if you look underneath, you can see the other one, but whatever. Anyways, this guy, it's 3 20 UF electrolytic caps all in one can. I am going to completely pull it out, and I'll show you what I'll do. So I'm going to completely pull it out from there, and then I'm going to mount the 3 20 UF radial caps directly on this board. And just hang on a sec, I'm going to flip it over. And I can do this because if you look, we've got 3 grounds. Let me get the chopstick. Where's the chopstick? We've got 3 grounds, 1, 2, and 3, and then we've got 3 leads. And the size of the modern 20 UF caps will easily fit in there. So I'll just unsolder all of that, pop it out, and then solder in the 3 20 UF caps, and just have them mounted right onto the board. It will work out quite nice. Okay, here's the oscilloscope. You can see I now have the 3 new cams down here. I'll show you the underside here. So on the underside, a little bit of a half job, but you can see the, oh, I got a pen. These are the 3 kind of positive sides here, and then I had to connect the negatives together because the can connected them together, and you can see that like this one's just an island off by itself. So, and this one might be an island off by itself. So anyways, they're all connected to negative, and they go up to chassis ground. And there that is. Okay, so I've got all the tubes in, and I've got it connected to my Variac here. And what I'll do is I'll power it up at about 60 volts AC, and then just watch to see if the amp gauge spikes at all, other than an inrush. Yeah, and then if that's okay, I'll take it up to 120 volts and just keep an eye on the current. Any issues, I'll just shut it down and start to investigate. Okay, now just testing the oscilloscope itself. I've got it connected to the Variac at 120 volts, and it looks like it's consuming whatever that is, 3.5 amps. And we got a little trace on the screen. I can kind of move it around. I can't. Focus is kind of weird. But anyways, now it's coming down to actually fixing the thing, because I did the cap job without testing it beforehand. I shouldn't do things like that. There's also kind of a loose connection somewhere. There's maybe a carbon clamp resistor has a little crack in it. I'll have to get the chopstick out. Anyways, there you go. Cap job done.